All right, let's move on to the new film from Chan-wook Park. It is
The new
Decision
DCU.
to Leave. I talked about this a little bit during our New York Film Festival episode with Austin, but Art, you've had a chance to catch up now on this film
Yup.
about a seasoned detective investigating a suspicious death when he starts to focus on the man's wife and develop a bit of a adoration, attraction,
Mm-hmm.
obsession. It's
Yeah.
a really interesting film that is a mix of different feelings and tones and moods in a way that only a director like Chan-wook Park, I think, could kind of find the balance in between. Art, what did you make of Decision to Leave?
Is there's been a lot of discussion on TV and adult films, and I guess the approach of what you take from a movie when you're watching it. And there's
Mm-hmm.
a part of this movie that's pulling you in as this murder mystery thriller, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's fascinating. And then I feel the movie itself makes fun of you for wanting the murder mystery thriller the same way that the main lead detective is always told you don't find happiness unless there's a murder in town.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's a movie that I wasn't expecting to really be about emotions, especially when they hit you with the title line in the film, um, about adults and not really just their mourning, but what they long for.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and because of that, I'm very curious to rewatch it with different subtitles, which is a discussion you and I have been having,
Mm-hmm.
because they sent us a link and those link have like open caption. When I saw it in the theater, the Gene Siskel, they had it in closed captions, and it is a movie that relies on translation to a degree where damn near got to learn both languages that they have in this film, because one of the characters is Chinese and obviously the majority of the movie is in Korean, and there's a lot of overlap in terms of someone saying a phrase or a word or a sentence that sounds similar in each other's languages but
Yeah.
means something different. Every American audience who doesn't speak those languages, boom, just went over your head.
Right.
And there's a lot of that I really want to dig into because I think it's pivotal in understanding the movie, or it's pivotal in having a translation of it, right? I know in
Mm-hmm.
Parasite that there's a lot of things that we miss because we don't understand, what that means culturally to them.
Mm-hmm.
And I think those are points where you either need a really good translator to get as close as they possibly can, or that's when you find a way to make a remake that can get into the pocket of whatever those cultural nuances are. But there are several in this movie, especially with the way that they clash. And it's a movie that's kind of like fragmented into three parts, which I think is why a
Yeah.
lot of people, even when we came out of the theater, it was like a whole group of like college kids who were like, "Yeah, this felt like it should have been like a series." And with it being a series, it could work that way. And having seen enough of his movies, no, I
Yeah.
think we're big. I know we're saying like this should have been a miniseries, right? That's I would put that on some merch for Intercut if we had some. It should be a miniseries. It shouldn't be a miniseries. This is exactly
Yeah.
what it needs to be. It could be long for people's taste, and I can see it definitely like, whoa, are we going to do a whole other investigation? I feel like I just sat through a whole movie, and then the movie goes, we're going to do a whole other investigation.
Yeah.
It's long for sure, but I think all of that has to play with a character who's dealing with insomnia, who feels like he can never get ahead of it, and the pacing of the movie is meant for that. It doesn't
Mm-hmm.
need to be a series because the series would be stopping episodically. I enjoyed it. I
That's
wanted
the
to love it a lot more, but again, I don't know how much of that has to do with me having to catch it again and the translations at the bottom, because you're also seeing a lot of clues and a
Mm-hmm.
lot of them don't get translated. You only get translated the main focus of what the degree or the paper that's right in front of you, and you're wondering, does the other stuff come into play? So I feel like I haven't fully experienced the movie.
No, I totally get that. And that was sort of my reaction when I was talking about it last week, in that I don't know if I feel fully prepared to like talk about it as in a way that feels like I have a grip on it, because there is so much happening there, and
Yeah.
the way in which it'll move from one idea to another is so interesting.
You're
I
right
feel,
about that, bro. You were in one station, you woke up and you were like near rocks. You're like, how did we smoothly transition?
yeah. And like you mentioned that idea about how this one wouldn't work as well as a miniseries. I completely agree, because part of what does make it special is all these disparate elements being held up against each other. Like
Yeah,
feeling that whiplash is part of the experience. And I don't
exactly.
know, I again, I do want to rewatch it and feel like I have a better grip of it, but it is so fascinating, and I think really does kind of give you that sort of, it puts you in that in the shoes of the character, in a way, in the mystery of it all, right?
Yeah.
Keeping you guessing. And
It's fantastic.
I thought the way it ended was also beautifully done. I'm excited to catch it again because this is one of our master filmmakers, and there's so many interesting things happening, so many interesting shots too. I loved how this film was
Camera
shot.
movements and yeah.
Mhm.
No, I thought it was really good. I would also highly recommend the Gene Siskel if y'all have not been there in Chicago. Really beautiful theater, really great sound design, especially for this movie. So yeah, put them both on your radar. It should be coming to movies soon, in case you want to catch it in the comfort of your own home. But I know it started rolling out wide this past week, and with the coming weeks, hopefully you'll have this movie near you, because we at least think it'll be talked about all the way until the next award season.
Definitely.